Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today we're going to talk about why getting ahead can be very difficult, and while also after you get ahead, staying ahead after a little financial steam gets built up can be even harder. Let's get into it. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 3 reasons why people have a hard time getting ahead and ultimately fail. I'm also going to share with you the bonus reason on why people actually get that little bit ahead and they still stop progressing and ultimately fail. The number one reason that I feel people fail at getting ahead, and I put this above everything else in today's video because I believe it is so very important, and that is they have very little to no goal setting at all. Poor goal setting will set you back decades in your financial life. If you never set a goal and you say there's always tomorrow, by the time you know it, you say that when you're 20, 30 happens real quick. A lot of us that are watching this channel are actually in our 30s, and you could tell everyone that that is an actual true statement. And at the same time as when we're in our 30s, I'm 32 years old. If I said that, how soon until I actually become 42 years old? We tell ourselves these sweet nothings that allow us to realize we have more of that precious commodity called time that we can never get any more of. So I say the solution to this, and let's give a quick breakdown on goal setting, and I have other videos that I'll link in the description below if you'd like to see more on those things. And I plan on remaking a few videos as well, so comment below if you'd like to see that. But the first thing in goal setting is we need to have a clear why. We need to know why we want to do these things. We want to know why that we need to actually sacrifice and put ourselves through this sacrifice of financial fun, right? We need to know why we need to cook at home for $40, $35, right, for ourselves per week to have multiple meals. We need to know why we need to do this versus going out to eat at McDonald's and spending $5 on the dollar menu. Understanding that we have a spending problem and not most of us having an income problem could solve a lot of this issue. Your why needs to be big enough to push you, but not so big that it crushes you. I want to save $1 million. That's not an appropriate why. That's not an appropriate goal. That's a wish, and we don't do wishes here in goal setting. The thing that a why needs to be is something that's going to get you out of bed in the morning even when you don't want to. Something that you can find that's going to make that fire burn, right? That makes you want to push that much harder, whether it be your wife, your kids, or just personal excellence. Like, I want to save this much money so that way I can invest in this. I want to do this much so I can do that. I want to have 10,000 saved every single year, but that's also kind of too big, right? We need to break that down, and I'll get more into that later. But our whys need to be big enough to push us, as I said, but not too big to crush us. The next thing about goal setting is you need to find a clear long-term goal. And that long-term goal needs to be big enough to push you for 3 to 6 months. But we don't just stop there. We need to break that long-term goal into several short-term victories or short-term goals along the way to crushing that long-term goal. So understand, nothing will make you more excited than writing down your goals, crossing them out when you win and you get them, no matter how small or how big they are. And then every time you cross that goal out, you're going to get more and more excited. The more excited you get, the more power you have to accomplish that goal that much faster. Here's a fun fact. The average goal setter, just the average one, will earn 10 times more money in their lifetime than a non-goal setter would. So after we have our why, we have our long-term goal, and we have our small victories or short-term goals along the way, we need to have our daily action plan. The things we're going to do every single day to make us hit that goal that much faster. And then here's the cool thing. By doing this and reviewing these goals daily, not just every once in a while, not write them down and forget about them, not think I wrote them down in my brain, but to review these goals daily, you'll be surprised on how fast you'll accomplish that goal you never thought you would in no time flat. The number 2 thing when it comes down to why we fail and blame everyone else, to some, or why we fail and just think that we're just not good enough. We're not meant to hit those goals. We're not meant to have a better life. The second thing is, you guessed it, lifestyle inflation, or just living above your means. These statistics get used all the time on YouTube. I see them every single day, but understand It's so true, and it's so sad. 56% of America, which is supposed to be the most successful country, right? Or at least was, or is, or competing for, it's still one of the top. And 56% of us, out of 330 million people, cannot come up with $1,000 emergency expense without going into debt. Let that sink in right now. Ask yourself, could I survive a $1,000 emergency expense without putting it on a credit card or going into overdraft fees? If the answer is no, then yes, you have a ton of circumstances that lead up to the events that you are at right now. But guess what? You're the CEO of your own life, and you can absolutely change it. And it starts with watching videos like this. We have to start sacrificing just a little, saving just a little. And guess what happens over time? Those become those big wins, along with goal setting and the number 3 thing I'm going to share with you. The number 3 way is income. Yeah, sometimes you have an income problem, but most of us, if not all of us, have the ability to go make more, whether it be with our minds or our bodies. And that sounded wrong, but let's just be honest. A lot of us are ordering Uber Eats versus delivering it. A couple easy ways to be able to earn more income. For instance, I just said one, deliver Uber Eats, drive Uber, right? Lyft. We have what's called waiter service here. Maybe we decide to go buy a lawnmower, and yeah, it's an expense, but we can actually take that lawnmower and it'll pay for itself in the first month. There are a bunch of people that want their lawns mowed, but there's not as many people to be able to do that at an affordable price because they have business expenses and insurance. If you just start mowing lawns on the side, you'll be surprised on how much money you can make in literally no time. Why do we have the entrepreneurial spirit when we're a little kid versus when we grow up, we're like, I'm not doing that. Those weekends are for me. By raising our income, we can actually start saving that emergency fund in the event something happens like it did in 2020. We can actually do something with that money and start investing it after we have that emergency fund saved. And guess what? After we get that money invested, that money can start making money for us while we're not even doing anything. Put it in the stock market and let it grow on average, the S&P 500, 7% adjusted from inflation. In the event that you go and start mowing lawns, delivering Uber Eats, or doing whatever you can to make a little bit more, a side hustle that doesn't cost you a whole lot of product, so you don't go spend a ton of money on an investment and then it not work out. I want you to find something easy that's labor intensive because that's the best money ever besides passive income. But here's the thing. If you just do enough to make $27.40 a day, or just under $200 a week, extra money that you can invest and not spend and enjoy it, you can enjoy the fruits of you investing it and it growing. If you do that, that $27.40 times 365 days of the year, at the end of the year, you'll have $10,000 or 10,000 money soldiers that you can send into battle to make you even more. You have to have the right mentality. We have to be positive. With the power of a good attitude and a positive outlook, we can accomplish anything. Remember, you're the CEO of your own life. Whether it's going good or bad is up to you. It's no longer your mom and dad's fault if you're over 18 years old. It's up to you to make it work. It's up to you to conquer it. And it's up to you to make it happen for your family or your future family. And remember, none of this works as if you make and save money today to enjoy and spend it the very next day. This is for the long term. This is 20 years, 10 years, 30 years if you're my age, hopefully my age, 30 years old. I like to live to be at least 60. But this is for that. This is for you to consistently invest and keep pushing and keep going and turn this into a mega monster so you can retire and not struggle when you get older. All this to say, I always tell you there's 3 things that make it very easy to win. Time, which is the most precious commodity, but we all have it. Effort, you actually learning a skill. You trying to make sure those Saturdays, instead of sitting on the couch and being tired, you're going after it to try to achieve those goals. And commitment. You can't do it for a day, you can't do it for a week, can't do it for a month. You have to not only run a race or a sprint, but you got to run that marathon every single day. Every single day. Tell yourself, I like myself. I love my work. I like myself. I love doing extra. I love saving and look at what I've created out of nothing. And get proud, get excited, cross out them short-term goals, just literally destroy that long-term goal and keep moving forward. every single day. Let's get into the bonus reason why it's so hard for people to win. The bonus reason why people fail even after getting some success is they quit pushing. They get comfortable. They quit their actual job. They were making $3,000 at their job. Now they're making $3,000 passively, and they go, I've arrived. So instead of making $6,000, they stay making $3,000. And they wonder why they can't get any more traction after they've done all this great stuff. Also keep in mind, for the person that's had a little success, step 1, step 2, step 3, all those reasons, goal setting, income, and living above your means, especially that one, all come into play as well. So they're not immune to this just because they had a little success. Also, someone that inherits some money, they go in and invest it, make that $3,000, they quit their job. It's the same thing. Any way you look at it, it's the same exact way where I see somebody that gets a little bit ahead and then they just blow it because they'd rather be happy, right? But that word is what you make it, right? Happy truly means content. And the way to be content for me is to where I have more than enough to take care of my family, donate, enjoy, and all the rest. So back to my example, let's say someone has enough money invested to make $3,000 a month, which is very strong. Let's also say that in another way, they actually have a few rentals, 5 or 6 rentals that equal them to making $3,000 net profit if they're fully rented or rented at 95%, which if you only have 5 rentals, you need to be fully rented for that to work. Here's the thing. The biggest mistake a lot of these people make is they quit their job. They say, I'm making $3,000 passively. I don't need to work at that job anymore that I was making $3,000 at. Here's the kicker. If you just suck it up for another 10 to 15 years, and you keep working, you keep pushing, you keep growing, you will be making $6,000 a month when you only need to live off of $3,000. And if you invest that $3,000 a month, let's go ahead and look at what it would look like. So let's look at it at 10 years of you investing that $3,000 extra money, and you've decided to stay working at that job and swallow your pride, right? You're making more than the other person that does the same job. But guess what? That is how winning is done. Getting your ego involved and wanting to just go travel the world and take photos on Instagram, that's not how it's winning. That just looks like you're winning. And most of those people are extremely unhappy. Here's the thing. Starting balance, $3,000, because guess what? They're already making money. Oh, also periodic investment of $3,000, and that's monthly. Every single month, they're going to keep taking that money. They're going to keep living below their means. They're going to keep goal setting, and they're going to keep reaping the benefits of reinvesting and getting that sweet compound interest. Same percent rate of 7%, just you investing like the S&P 500. Guess what? They're going to contribute $363,000 in that 10-year period, but their profit's going to be $162,000, giving them a $500,000 return. Now, let's go ahead and say that this is a younger person that does this, and I see it all the time, 20 years of investing. Wow, really changes up the numbers there. They have contributed $723,000, but now their profit is over $850,000 for a total of $1.5 million in their pocket after they retire when they're 20. So if you're 30 and you've already done something like this and you want to buckle down and keep going at that job, boom, you can end up having $1.5 extra million by investing just that $3,000 every month. Now I understand that's crazy numbers, but we're talking about the beginners. We did that earlier in the video. Now this is the advanced course. This is what some of you aspire to be, and this is what some of you could be that you should be doing right now. Isn't it absolutely insane what the power of compound interest, an open mind, a passionate heart, and some solid goal setting can do? I'm telling you, each and every one of you can absolutely do this. All this basically means is instead of having that $3,000 of passive income and you quitting your job, I say turn it up. Make $6,000. Keep pushing yourself, learn some more skills, make some more investments, and grow it and grow it and grow it. And you know what? If you ever have too much, cool, donate it. So I hope you guys have a fantastic afternoon. I hope you have some happy investing. And remember, I believe in you. I'll see you later.